Hello and welcome to all SIPSI fans. This is the Young Chill Club. We're so excited that you are with us, hopefully joining in and tuning into this recording. We're going to be going along live with Kelly in just a few minutes, and we hope that you will enjoy this session as much as we know we're about to. And so with no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Kellie Syfan. Kelly, it's all yours.
Hi guys. So I am Kellie Syfan. I'm the owner of Applied Behavioral Happiness. We are in Wake Forest, North Carolina, and our big focus is partnering with parents to help kids overcome challenging behavior through skill building programs and play. And I'm going to show you some of the things that we give to kids to work on when they are feeling like they are having trouble controlling emotions, and that what we do as well as staff, we're having trouble controlling our reactions, to be able to create some tools that can help us stay chill in those moments. So I've got my paper back here. If you've got some paper, go ahead and grab it now. Any of your favorite art supplies. I've got some markers. Oh, I see everybody in the live has got their things ready to go. That's perfect. So what we're going to do first is we're going to talk about some different ways that we as humans can kind of recenter, and when our emotions start to really bubble, help us get back into a calm state of mind where we can hold on to that chill side that we would like to. So a couple of things that we might think of are the senses. So things like smell. And I'm going to scoot this in a little bit. Perfect. So we might think of something that smells nice, that could help us stay in a nice, good spot. And if you think about, if you were starting to feel upset and you took a moment to take a couple deep breaths of your favorite scent, so maybe a candle or incense or a lotion, that can really help you get back into that calm state of mind. Now, something else we might think about is just getting some space. If there's a bunch of people around and we just need some room, getting some space can really be helpful. And having a space set up that we can go to when we need to step back and advocate for ourselves and our need to be alone can be super, super helpful. Now, I'm going to reach out a little bit to the group here after I give a couple more of these to see what other things we can put on our list. But first, I'm going to add in touch. Because there are a lot of different kinds of touch that can be really helpful, whether that's hugs, whether that's having a sensory item or toy to play with or to interact with to help you move yourself into a better frame of mind. All sorts of different things we can think of there. And another one to think about is nature. And you'll have to excuse my inability to spell well. I hope you'll forgive me. But thinking about nature, having a moment out in nature, or petting a pet, or watching a nature video can be really helpful to a lot of people. So if I can go to the live group here, what other things can we think of that can be helpful or to interact with when we're trying to maintain calm or get a little bit more centered?
So I immediately go to like the five senses and taste. And I know
Beautiful.
Like taking a break and drinking some water.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Taking a break, getting some water. I'm going to draw a little couple of water drops there.
I like it.
Nice.
What else?
It's not maybe really interacting with something, but the first thing I thought of was just taking really deep breaths.
Love it.
So especially ones like I like to breathe in really deeply and then hold it for a few seconds and then exhale it. Like that holding is really important to help me get it all out.
Absolutely. And a lot of folks find that the deep breath is really helpful. Other folks will find that the deep in and then the huff out is helpful for them. So what I want to make sure of is when we think about each of these things, it's all right to customize it to what works best for you. And Kathy, I love that you know that your breath is that deep, long in and that long out, and how helpful that can be. Perfect. Can I get one more from the group? And then I've got a couple more to throw out to everyone.
Yeah. So going back to like the senses, obviously sound, I know like a lot of my friends like to listen to music to calm them down, or I know like to sleep, some people listen to like ocean sounds or even just silence. If you just need like to get back in your head, like if you're being overstimulated or something.
Love that.
A lot of different.
That is perfect. Do a couple little music notes there for sound. I love it. And there's so many different kinds of sounds, like you said. It could be music, it could be nature recording, it could be just some background sound. Even a white noise machine for some folks can be really, really helpful. So know what's going to work best for you. Some other things to think about when you're thinking about touch is like pressure. Is it something where you like a really tight squeeze, or you prefer just a light graze? And thinking about what is going to feel best to you in those moments, and getting yourself acquainted with thinking about that so that you're able to access what you need in those moments. Another big one is movement. So that can be dancing around, that can be moving our arms a little bit, having a squeeze and relax and a squeeze and relax. There is nothing wrong with movement. If that is helping you get into a more centered place and maintain that calm and maintain that chill, you are rocking it. Keep it going. Let's see. The last one is the other side of that, stillness. And that often comes with those big breaths. When we're taking our time to breathe in and breathe out, we're finding stillness in our body to be able to bring our chill forward. Now, with these in mind, we're going to start talking about how to create some little cards, or if you've got a little booklet, you're welcome to do it in a book as well, that will cue us to use some of these things to help us maintain our calm when we would like to. So in order to do that, a great way to move forward is to think of a theme. So that theme might be animals, for example. So I go, okay, I really like animals. And I know that I need space sometimes. When I am feeling really overstimulated, I just need to get some space. What animals like space? And I could think about something that makes sense for me. So I might say, like, okay, koalas tend to like their own trees. So I'll have a koala. And when I make my little card, I'll draw a koala. And I'll talk about the kind of space that I need underneath to help me have a little visual reminder of sometimes I need space like a koala. You can also go silly and think about, like, okay, what if it's a puppy dog on the moon? That's a lot of space. You know, you can have fun and get creative with it. These cards are for you to enjoy and for you to have, first of all, to be able to access when you see them, and also once you draw them out, for you to be able to access in your mind. So what are some different themes that we could talk about for our cards? We got animals. What other themes can I get from the group here today?
I haven't had dinner yet, so I'm like, snack food.
Snack food. What else?
I know it's up there as a category, but nature, like just thinking
Love
about
it.
what things in nature.
Beautiful. What else?
Maybe like colors that you associate with.
Love that. You can get as abstract as you want. I have a number of friends that are way into dinosaurs. So we do some dino themed ones. I'm gonna put that on there.
I think looking at that list, like parts of the house.
Ooh, I love that.
Different sports.
Say that again.
Like sports, different sports.
Sports. Love it.
Or superheroes.
Different fruits or vegetables.
Oh, beautiful.
I don't know if you heard Serenity also said superheroes.
I love superheroes. Fruit and veggies. Let me get superheroes on there. Super heroes. Beautiful. So we've got all sorts of different themes that we could choose. And by no means do you have to choose just one. It's just one way to think about moving forward. So if I'm going through again and I choose, let's say, superheroes, I might create my own. I might take ones that are already out there. Do whatever inspires you. And then think about again, when you're looking at making your cards, which of these you're going to use or others to be able to bring yourself into a good spot. So I'm going to do a quick example up here. Let's see, does the group want to help me choose a specific calming technique? Anybody have a vote?
The one that caught my eye was movement.
Love it. Okay. Got movement. And can I have someone else help me choose a theme?
I think sports
Kind of
is
like, what'd you say, Serenity?
I said I think sports is a good one for movement.
Sports. And then I heard secondary colors.
Yeah.
Colors. All right, so now that I've got an idea of how I'm moving forward and you're thinking about how you're moving forward, you can take your paper. And again, it can be a booklet where you use each page. You can cut your paper into 4 pieces and have little cards. Feel free to do it however you like. I'm going to draw some rectangles here.
It might, for folks doing it at home, if you don't have scissors handy, you might want to do like fold it. Like what I'm doing is folding my paper. Let's see, I did it in half and then in half, and I'll do in half, and that'll give me 8 rectangles. So that'll give me some boundaries to kind of make cards. And then if I want to cut them apart later, I can do that.
Love it, Kathy. Thank you so much for your input on that. That is perfect. All right, so I have my example of my 2 cards here, and I'm thinking again about movement, and my first one I'm going to do sports. So let's see, movement and sports. I'm thinking of the kind of moves that help me calm down. And for me, it's a lot of like stretching out, and that kind of reminds me of volleyball. So I'm going to go ahead and do volleyball arm stretch. And then I can draw my little picture on top of that. I'm going to have, it's going to be a fairly simple picture. My stick person, they're stretching their arms out, and they're hitting the volleyball. And you can go as deep into this as you would like. You can get as detailed as you would like. But having this little connection, this creative moment around what you're doing will help it stick with you. As well, when it's time to have a moment of like, okay, I feel myself getting agitated, you have something that you've created to look at that can be really, really helpful. The second suggestion for an example was that same thing movement, but with colors. I'm going to think about, okay, what color to me means movement? And what I think of is like fall leaves falling, like the colors of fall leaves falling. And that, for me, and again, doesn't have to be the same for you, reminds me of like a tall stretching breath into like a shaky down breath. Like, it might be a silly little movement, but it's something that can help me take just a step back and maintain that calm. So I'm going to grab myself a couple of fall-like colors. And I'm going to go ahead and write first. Fall color breaths. And you're welcome to write descriptions under that or go deeper into it with your wording, whatever works best for you. I've got my little leaves here that are representing that deep breath in and that falling, wiggling breath out. Because I like movement a lot and I want to really reiterate that wiggly fall on the exhale. I'm going to put some little movement lines in there. All right. So I'm going to go to the group real quick and see what ideas you guys have. Can I go over to Kathy? What are you thinking about, Kathy?
I was starting to work on one for the colors. I was thinking about movement makes me think of wind. Like it made me think of gray because actually it's kind of a gray day here by me right now, but it's really windy. And so oftentimes, right, there's a lot of wind. I think of gray and that kind of movement, which takes me to that idea of taking deep breaths, like a gust of wind, right? And so
Beautiful.
my words about that.
I love that. Thank you, Kathy. So Renee, can I pop over to you and see what you are working on?
Yeah, so I was thinking of something that always calms me down, like going back to the touch, is just like curling up in like a blanket or getting like a hug or something like that. And so that made me think of a bear, just because they're like fuzzy and, you know, bear hugs. So yeah.
I love that. A big bear blanket hug. Beautiful. And Beth, how about you? What are you working on?
So for movement, I did a dancer. I do star people. And so that to me was like, because I like the idea of like when I'm to twirl.
Love that.
So that's just twirling.
Perfect. So while y'all are working on that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give some other examples of things that you could choose to make different pages or different cards for, just so you have tons and tons of ideas as you're moving forward. So if I was thinking about stillness, and I wanted to relate it to some of the themes we have up here, I might think about a superhero that freezes things. And that stillness, like that frozen moment. If I was thinking about the parts of the house, I might think about something still in a house, like a rug or a carpet. Maybe my action is just to lay out flat for a minute and just be completely still. Or if I was thinking about stillness with a snack food, I might think about like a bowl of soup that has not been touched and is just perfectly flat, and just having a meditative moment thinking about a perfectly flat surface. Now, again, you guys just keep working. I'm going to just keep throwing out ideas for the group across the board. If I was thinking about needing space, this is a big one for me, guys. When I get overstimulated, I need to be alone. I need some space. And if I don't advocate that soon enough, I'm going to end up saying things I didn't mean to say and getting more angry than I ever wanted to be. So when I need that space, and I'm thinking about fruits and veggies, for example, I might think about a lone carrot, just one single carrot, and think to myself like, okay, I'm going to put my arms to the side of my body and be tall like a carrot and tell everyone I need to step away right now. And just have that little reminder to myself like, all right, single lone carrot time, here I go. Advocate for myself and know that my needs will be met and that I can remain calm in this moment. If I'm also thinking about that space and I want to think about dinosaurs, I might think about a lone T-Rex and just going, you know what, when T-Rex walks away, he does so confidently with big steps. So when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm going to T-Rex step my way into another space. I don't need to do anything, but just take big confident steps away. Now let's say I was thinking about sound. I love that example of sound. And I might think about for animals, if there's a specific sound that can help me maintain calm. And I know in my case, the sound of a kitty cat purring would definitely be a soothing noise. So maybe it is even me going like, okay, I feel myself being stressed. I can imagine a cat and I can just take a breath that has that sound with it, like. Now it might be, again, slightly silly. It might not make sense for you. It may make perfect sense for you. That's okay. These are going to match exactly what you need and what's going to work best in your moment. If I take the sounds again and I think of colors, maybe I'm thinking about fireworks, big bang fireworks. And what I need to do when I'm starting to feel really frustrated is I need to just have one loud yell. Get out in nature, let one big one, out. And then I'm ready to rejoin again. There's no way to do this wrong. It's just thinking about what's going to work best for you. Again, thinking about the sensory things that you need to have met in that moment to feel better, and some themes to be able to connect it through artistically. I'm going to check back in with everybody we have here to see if there's any other ideas or thoughts that you guys would like to share before I give some more examples through, and I'll do another drawing myself. Can I check in with Kathy?
Yeah, I have lots of ideas sometimes about like the things that I'll say help me de-stress. Like I was thinking about nature, and I thought about a sound that in nature that I like is like a babbling brook. So I started to draw that. Where I get stumped is trying to translate that, like in this case, that sound into what is it that I need to do to help me de-stress.
Oh, that's beautiful, Kathy.
So in case anybody else is thinking like they're having trouble with that, I'm having trouble with that.
One thing that we might consider is even just having a recording, if you have a cell phone, having a recording ready for yourself, because we can't always access that babbling brook. You're absolutely right. And there's times where I need space, but I'm, say, stuck in a bus. I physically can't get space, but I can plan ahead for those moments and try to have my tools ready so I can get as much as I can and as close as I can. Kathy, I'm really glad you brought that up.
Oh, and I appreciate the idea. Thanks. And it's
Of
so
course.
easy nowadays to come up with the recordings and to find what we need. You know, there's so many tools at our disposal.
Absolutely. Beautiful. All right, Serenity, what are you thinking about right now?
I was just thinking of, I don't know, I was just drawing like cartoon bears, so I was kind of staying with that theme. But
Love it.
I don't know, I did like my first one is a bear like hugging, and then the second one is like getting some space, so the bear just has like his arms out, and then I was gonna do another one of just like breathing and like Kathy was saying before, where it's just gonna be like a bear sitting down like with his eyes closed. I don't know, but
I love your
I was kind of doing it
across the
differently,
theme bears.
I guess, than different animals, but yeah.
Oh, you don't have to. That's perfect. I know some people that bounce around, let's use like, okay, one snack food, one animal, one dinosaur. I know people that go through and go, today is the day for bears. Everything. Bears are relaxing to me, and that's how I'm gonna work this out. So I love that. I love that there's different things coming across the board. Beth, what are you working on?
So I, like Kathy, I was thinking of nature. So I tapped into my inner Bob Ross, and I was thinking about like that still lake. And so like the reflection of the trees on the lake. There's a large pond in my yard, and you can go up into it and just sit on the dock and hear the water still.
That's wonderful. So when you're at home, that is 100% available, good to go. How do you think, Beth, you can take that feeling or that relaxation with you on the run? So like Kathy and I spoke briefly on having a recording ready of a babbling brook. Is there a picture you could take with you or a video of yourself having a calm moment there? What are your thoughts?
I have a deep and strong imagination, and because it's very real to me, anywhere I can go, I can close my eyes and I can picture myself sitting on the dock and feeling like the wood and smelling the seaweed and so I'm right there. Like I can transport myself right there. I don't know if that's what you wanted, but that's
No, it's not so much what I want. It's what can we do to make sure that these skills are available to you at all times. And I think that's a beautiful way to do it. To be like, okay, when I'm in this space, I'm going to observe all these different things that I'm experiencing. So as later, when it's time for me to imagine them, I know what the wood feels like. I have taken the time to smell what the seaweed smells like. And I've taken all these sensory things in so that later my imagination can help bring them out. I think that's beautiful. Perfect, guys. I love it. So I'm going to do a couple more just verbal examples here. We're going to end the session a little bit early in about 5 minutes because I want to leave lots of time for everybody to be able to do their own art, but I also want to leave you with as many ideas and thoughts as possible. So let's look a little bit into smell, because that's one of my favorites. One of the things that I do at my office is I have different smells all over the place in little containers. So that any time someone just needs to snap back into the moment and take a second to themselves, they can use that smell to sort of transplant, I'm missing the word, y'all.
Transport?
Transport, thank you, Kathy, to transport themselves back into a place where they feel more calm. So for some folks, that's going to be like cinnamon, to remind them of cinnamon cookies or gingerbread. For other folks, it's going to be like a pine tree type smell to help them remind them of the outdoors. For other folks, it's going to be vanilla or the smell of clean linen, all those sorts of things, thinking about those smells that mean a lot to you and that are associated with calm already, and creating a card that has to do with that. Now, some wonderful things that you can do to have that on your person is to have samples. So if it's like a perfume or a oil or something, having a little sample bottle to carry with you can be very, very helpful. Little small candles can often fit into purses. The nice thing about samples is they can fit into pockets without taking up too much space. And having that with you and knowing that you've already created your card and your plan for how to use it can be extremely helpful. So if I wanted to relate some of those smells again back to some of these different things, we had a number of different food examples there, like the cinnamon and the ginger to remind you of gingerbread cookies, or the vanilla. But we've got other things here too, like the parts of the house. If a certain part of the kitchen is something that really brings you calm, or a certain time of day when you have a certain smell, like, okay, maybe it's the smell of breakfast foods, like bacon. Let's just say when there's bacon, you are just super calm and happy. And okay, we can even just imagine that smell, and it could be just a deep bacon breath. And I can imagine that breakfast food, that wonderful morning coming forward for us. Also on the smells, if we go to the fruits and veggies, maybe we have things like mango or pineapple, or those really strong fruit smells that can take us to a little tropical place for a moment and help us recenter and bring ourselves to calm and remaining nice and chill. There are a lot of cool smells out there and a lot of different ways to use them. I'm going to go through one more. Do you guys have any specific questions on these, or ones that you'd like me to hit in this last example? Looks like free choice. So I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with taste, because taste is such an interesting one. If I was going for dinos, maybe I'm going to do like a dino chomp. And quite often, if you find that sensory stuff with your mouth helps you calm down, having a chewy toy or a chewy bracelet or a chewy necklace can be so helpful. And they make a lot of different ones that are super styling. And just going, and if you have that bracelet on, just taking a couple chews on it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You are controlling your emotions and you're working through it, and that's beautiful. So thinking about that dino chomp, maybe it's not a straight taste, but it has that same sort of mouth theme to it. Taking a couple dino chomps on something chewable. I find that bubble gum is really helpful for me. So for me, it's less, because I don't wear jewelry, it's less of a having something to chew on that's physical, that just lasts. And rather, if I can pop a piece of gum and have that strong mint flavor come through, that can be really helpful. So maybe if I'm thinking about nature, I'm having a winter frost moment. Like I'm imagining and I'm drawing out snow and snowflakes, and I'm having my winter frost moment where I'm actively choosing to have a piece of mint gum when I'm starting to feel a little upset, to help me recenter and maintain my chill. Now I want to make sure that I leave on everybody's thoughts here, any other insights that we've had on working on these cards. And I want to leave you, everyone watching this recording, with plenty of time to work on your own cards. Know that you can contact me if you have any questions. My email is Kellie, Kellie, at appliedbehavioralhappiness.com. And I'm more than happy to help you. Can I go ahead and ask my participants here today if you have any other thoughts, insights, tips, or tricks for the people who are watching this recording? Kathy, may I start with you?
Sure. I was just trying to think though of a tip or a trick. I'm still working through different smells. I've appreciated smells and tastes, the different, getting a chance to really think about the different senses and how they might help me to de-stress, and especially to think about ways that they're transportable. So I've lots of ideas about how I can do that at home, because I'm spending a lot of time at home these days, but it's a good reminder to think about having travel things. So when you mentioned about smells, I don't particularly use essential oils, but I know of a young person I know who had a beautiful necklace that had the little spot where she could put some dabs of oils. And I was like, when she told me about it and showed me, and she would take a little sniff of, I think if hers was lavender to help her calm, it made me think that might get me into oils, just being able to have that smell around all the time.
Absolutely. If you start feeling yourself get more agitated when you have to wear a mask, putting a little bit on the outside of your mask, then every time you breathe in, you just, not a ton, you don't want to be, fumigating yourself, but that little bit of scent, if you know you're going to be in a mask and you know you're going to be in a high stress situation, can be so helpful. Kathy, I'm really glad you brought that up. Wonderful. Serenity, can I bounce over to you?
Also, just like, I know for me, having like things to fidget with, I know there's like rings you can get that like you can click or spin, things like that, or like fidget spinners or a thing. But stress balls, I don't know, just anything that you can like, that's small, that you can take with you, that you can kind of play around with or like squeeze if you're in an uncomfortable situation or you're just feeling antsy.
Absolutely. I love that. Yes, there's the pop waffles are really popular right now. They're wonderful. Anything, thinking about what your sensory needs are. So if you like something that's softer, think about the sort of toys and tools that you can use there. If you like something that you're really going to be able to put a squeeze into, like you really need to get it out, and then you're in a better place. I love that. The more that we can normalize that everybody stims and everybody needs to use these tools sometimes, the better off we will be. Beth, what are your thoughts?
So what I was thinking somebody might need to hear is sometimes I get nervous when I have to draw something, because I don't draw a lot, and I do enjoy doing it, but I also don't think I do anything very well at it. And so I reminded myself that this is just for me. No one else needs to see this. It's just for me. I enjoy the doing it. No one else needs to look at it. So I don't need to worry about that part, and just to have the pleasure of creating. That's what I was thinking about.
You're absolutely right. These, of course, if you want to share them with whomever you'd like, but there's no requirement, there's no need to share them with anyone else. These are your tools to use and enjoy and to evolve as you go along the way. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm super excited that you got to watch this recording of the Young Chill Club, and I'm excited that you're taking the time to be able to think about your needs and think about how you can be in a place where you are more calm and comfortable in working through these difficult situations. I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Kellie. This was awesome. I appreciated the chance to draw and color and think about ways to chill out while I'm not maybe as young as I used to be. And I still need to learn how to chill sometimes. So I definitely appreciated it. You did a great job. And so thanks to all who might watch this and join us in the future. Good luck chilling out.